everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make your own vermicomposting bin. So I'm going to go ahead and explain some of the things you need to get started. First of all, you're going to need some type of container. We'd recommend wood or plastic, and it's going to want to be about 12 to 18 inches in height. You're going to want about 1 square foot per pound of food waste that you're going to be composting per week. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this. This is a 10-gallon bin. So that's my first thing. This is actually going to be the vermicompost system here. Then you're going to want to have some few shovelfuls of dirt. So I just went over to the side of my house, dug this up. Then you're going to want the worms. You can't see my worms right now because I'm actually harvesting these from the current bins I have, but you can order these online and you'll have a big thing of worms. And you're going to want about a pound of worms. It's going to be between 500 and 1,000 worms. So I have a few hundred in here that are going to help me get started today. Then you're going to want to drill. And you're going to want a drill bit that's about 3/16. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use to drill in my vermicomposting system. Then you're also going to want some bedding, and then you're going to want some food sources. These are all things that you're going to need to actually start vermicomposting, and you're going to want most of that before you even have the worms, just so you can prepare your bin and make a home for them. So right when you get your worms, they can get happy and healthy and start eating for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and start drilling. So what I'm going to be doing in a moment is I'm going to be drilling holes all along the top of this bin, and that's going to be for air circulation. So because we're using worms, they're living creatures and they aerobically respirate. So we want air flow to go in and out of the bin. So we're going to put those in for ventilation. I'm going to put them all throughout the sides, and then I'm also going to be drilling holes in the bottom, and this is for drainage. So you could also use some type of spout to put in the side of the bin. And whenever there's excess moisture, you want that to be able to drain out of the bin. If you don't do that, you could end up drowning your bins in the excess water. So under here, I'm actually going to be placing another lid. This is from an old container, and you're going to see some wood planks. You can use a variety of things, but anytime there's excess water and there's drainage out through the bottom of those holes, it's going to land in here. If I didn't put it up an inch or so, the worms could start drowning, right? Because it's going to be flush where the liquid is draining out. So I'm going to go ahead and start drilling those holes. Again, we want the air ventilation on the top, and then we want the holes in the bottom for drainage. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do to get my vermicomposter ready is add some bedding. So today I'm going to use newspaper, but you can also use leaves. So I'm going to show you over here that I have already soaked some newspaper in some water. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze out any excess water. So you don't want it to be too wet in your bin, but the worms breathe through the skin, so they're going to want a nice smooth surface. So you're going to squeeze out that water, and then you're going to fluff it. So you can see here I've already fluffed my newspaper for my composter. So I'm going to go ahead and put about 1 pound to 2 pounds of newspaper in the bottom of my bin, and this is again going to be the bedding for the worms. So that's my start of my bin. And then I'm going to go ahead and add that dirt. So I'm going to sprinkle it. This is going to add some grit. The worms have a gizzard, so this actually is going to help them digest the food. So I'm going to sprinkle that all in with some soil from my garden. And then before I add the worms, I'm going to add some of my food. So I have my compost collector, and I'm going to be adding in some food. You can see I have some paper in there that I'll have to shred up. And for the start of my worm bin, I'm going to go ahead and just spread out all of my food for my worms. All right, from here, before I add my worms, I'm going to go ahead and give that top layer of bedding. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some more, and I'm going to go ahead and fluff it again on the top. And I should have a total of 3 to 4 pounds of newspaper at the very end, and I have a few pounds of food scraps. So now that I have this, I'm actually going to uncover so I can see my food scraps, and I'm going to be pouring my bins in this area. So on our website, you can find a few different locations of where to order worms. if you want to choose to do this, but it's important that there are red wigglers. So this is a worm that is a voracious eater and will do the composting in your home for you. So I'm going to go ahead and cover these up. They are afraid of light. And there's my vermicomposter. So the last thing I'm going to do is make sure I put my lid on and have that drainage basin on the bottom. So I'm going to actually let this worm bin sit for a week just to get them acclimated to their new home. And then when I want to start adding my food scraps after that, usually what you do is you may put your food scraps from Monday here, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you're actually going to work your way around the bin as you go. And then if you want to learn how to harvest your compost at the end, check out one of our vermicompost webinars or seminars, and it's going to teach you everything you need to know. But this is how to start setting up your bin. You can see here, this is actually finished vermicompost. I'm going to use this for a variety of things, and you can learn more about that from our webinar and seminars, but that's what the finished product is going to look like. So you're definitely going to reap the benefits of the vermicomposting system, and again, this is a DIY. You're going to leave the lid on most of the time, and make sure you have some drainage basin underneath.